What's good? It's your boy Flicks back with another live stream. You know what to do if you've just joined. Please hit that subscribe button, smash the likes, smash the likes. And yeah, man, and up the Spurs and all that malarkey. So, yeah, man, where do I start? Obviously, hence the thumbnail. Who's next? Who's next to come in and take over Tottenham? Say, for example, a 2-year deal, or is it going to be on an interim basis for the remainder of the season? Because let's face it, there's only 12, 13 games left of this season. So who wants that role? Who wants to step in and manage, let's face it, a piss poor Tottenham side? Yes, there's injuries. Far too many injuries. So Spurs fans, my question to you, who would you like to see come in as possible interim or permanent? So hit us up in the comments, guys. Who would you love to see step in, guys? Who would you love to see step in as Thomas Frank's replacement, guys? So let's hear your thoughts on that. Let's hear your thoughts on that one, and then we will crack on, guys. So yeah, smash the likes and all that. So obviously, news broke earlier on Sky Sports as I'm seeing it. Wilson Odobert, if you don't know, it's been confirmed that he's fractured his ACL. He's messed up his ACL. Not good. Not good. Not good whatsoever. Just another tick on the spreadsheet, as they say, innit? The injury list is just growing and growing and growing and growing week by week. Week by week, guys. So yeah, Odobert out for, let's face it, the rest of the season, going on to possibly next season. So it's not good, guys. It is really, really not good. Really, really not good. But yeah, man, for those that have just joined, yeah, man, like I said, smash the likes. Smash the likes, guys. Who would you like to see join Tottenham Hotspur Football Club? Who would you like to see join? Who would you like to see join Tottenham and take over Thomas Frank's position? Either interim until the remainder of the season or permanent. So let's hear your thoughts, guys. Let's hear your thoughts on that one. And obviously, yeah, news broke going off the Spurs side of things. News broke last night. Yeah, last night. Wolves. Wolves. Not Wolves. Sorry, Nottingham Forest confirmed their new manager already, and they only sacked Sean Dyche last night. Yet we're still managerless. So what's going on? What is going on? It's just a poxy merry-go-round, isn't it? With managers, you know what I mean? But Spurs fans, what are your thoughts, guys? What are your thoughts on a possible interim stepping in until the remainder of the season? Because there's only 12, 13 games left of the season. Or is it going to be a permanent? Look, you already know my one. I want Pochettino. Mauricio Pochettino is the one. He has unfinished business. We all know that. So again, my question to you: obviously, Pochettino is I believe contracted till the end of the World Cup. Now the World Cup is only around the corner now. So is it going to be one of them ones where Pochettino has a bit of a dilemma? Does he stick to his guns, and he's on a mission right now to take America through this World Cup? Obviously they're hosting, or part hosting, along with Canada and Mexico. Or does he go, do you know what, fuck this, I'm off to the club that I dearly love. I know the club inside out, the fans love me, etc, etc, etc. Does he jump ship before he's even started, if you like, and just come to us? So let's hear your thoughts on that one, Spurs fans. Start throwing those in the comments section, guys. Would you love to see Poch join Spurs? Because like I keep saying, he has unfinished business. We all know that one. That's how I feel anyway. He has unfinished business. Or would you like to see someone step in as interim? for the remainder of the season. Obviously, rumours going around that it could possibly be a Robbie Keane till the end of the season. Look, we all know he's only just started his managerial career. I believe he's out in Hungary, managing one of their top teams. Sorry, so Robbie Keane for me till the end of the season. Look, remarkable player, very good striker, but right now, can he get these group of boys that are left? You know, I don't think so. I really don't think so. Who are we left with, guys? Who are we left with? Zerbi. Look, we all know what he's done at Brighton. Steady, from what I remember. Obviously, he went to Marseille, and funnily enough, only a few nights ago, he terminated his contract with Marseille. So he's a free man. Do we want to see Zerbi at Tottenham? If you're going to ask me, not really, no. Not really, no. I know I said it yesterday on my stream. I was trying to think of a word of, how he is. But basically, he throws his toys at the pram, doesn't he? When things don't go the Zerbi's way, he throws his toys at the pram. I'm not one. I don't feel he would fit our role. I know there's that saying that doesn't matter who comes in. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, yeah, it boils down to the board and the ownership. That is true. That is very, very true. That is true because we've witnessed that with Jose Mourinho, Antonio Conte. Average managers like Nuno, who's at West Ham now, Postecoglou, yeah, done good for Celtic, but that's a whole different level there. That's a whole different ball game there with what he done at Celtic in the Scottish Premier Division. That's completely different gravy there. Thomas Frank, yeah, he was okay for Brentford, but like I keep saying, and I'll say again, coming from Brentford to Spurs was totally different. There was a lot of pressure. You know what I mean? I just felt Thomas Frank was out of his depth. I know injuries didn't help. Similar to what Postecoglou went through. Very, very similar to what Postecoglou went through. So many injuries. And yet, at the end of the day, yeah, we have the board to blame, the ownership to blame. Definitely. And I don't know if any of you have seen Gary Neville, his YouTube channel, Over the Lap, where they interviewed Ange Postecoglou, and he actually literally just spoke his mind about obviously when he first joined, talking about the board and the ownership and our famous saying, to dare is to do. You know what I mean? To dare is to do. Yet you're not backing me. You're not fulfilling what I have asked for, what I want, and where I feel we should be going as a football club. Because we all know we've gone so far backwards compared to where we were with Pochettino. You know what I mean? We was always pretty much guaranteed fourth, maybe fifth on the odd occasion, but decent football, very, very exciting, solid defence, etc., etc., etc. But compare that to where we are now, it's just we're not even mid-table. We are below average. You know what I mean? Second season in a row, we are fighting a relegation battle, and it's totally unacceptable. It really is totally unacceptable. I'll see the comments start coming in, guys. Keep the comments rolling in, guys. But yeah, man, my question to you, Spurs fans, whoever's watching this, who would you love to see step in and take over Thomas Frank's role? And like I keep saying, look, there's only 12, 13 Premier League games left. It's looking more likely that it could possibly be as an interim, and see whoever that's going to be until, see how they get on until the end of the season. Or are the board / ownership, whatever, looking for, are they going for the full shebang? They want a permanent right now, here and now. You know what I mean? It's just, yeah, man. It's heartbreaking, isn't it? It's very heartbreaking. The same cycle of shit. You know what I mean? We're just not getting anywhere whatsoever under Enoch. And when you think back to when Enoch, Lewis family took over. 2 trophies in what, 26 years? You've only got to look at that. Just that alone is shambolic. Absolutely shambolic. Absolutely shambolic. I'll get through to the comments in a minute, guys. Keep them rolling in. But yeah, like I keep saying, who would you love to see step in and take over Thomas Frank's role? You know, who wants that job? Who really wants that job? And I know it's not just at Spurs. It's this day and age now with managers. 9 times out of 10, they don't last. They really don't last. When you think back to, if you've done your research, people like Sir Alex Ferguson, he actually was relegated with Man United when he first took over, from what I remember. And they stuck with him, they backed him, and he brought them up. And look what he done with them in the end. He achieved big things. He was with them for 20 plus years, a bit like Arsene Wenger. But then that time is done now. That time is done now. You know what I mean? Owners and the board, they want success now. We want 5 wins on the bounce. You know what I mean? It's nothing lasts nowadays. Nothing lasts. You know what I mean? It baffles me when managers sign 2 3-year contracts and you're looking at that and you're laughing, thinking, are you really going to last 2 years, if that? You know, you're going to get a massive payout at the end of it. It's just ridiculous, isn't it? It's just ridiculous. Really is ridiculous. You know what I mean? So it's like Frank. From what I remember, Thomas Frank signed was it a 2-year contract? Hit us up in the comments, guys, if I'm wrong on that one. I'm sure it was a 2-year contract he signed. Yeah, he lasted what, 8 months? Thomas Frank lasted 8 months. 8 months. 8 months. That is poor. That is poor. And at the end of the day, who's laughing? He's laughing. He's walked away with a nice little payout. Thank you, see you later, sort of thing, innit? You know what I mean? And we are left where we're just in the fucking mud. You know what I mean? The club is so rotten to the core. So rotten to the core. You know, I just keep hoping that a serious buyer wants to come in and seriously wave a load of fucking cash in front of Enoch and say, "Here, take this, run. We'll carry on from it." You know, we want to back the club, back the fans, and really push. We want to show some ambition, because there's no ambition whatsoever. There's not been any ambition at this club for such a long time. And like I keep saying, it's so heartbreaking. So heartbreaking. So heartbreaking. So obviously, like I said earlier in my stream, rumours were going around that Robbie Keane could be a potential replacement. If you're asking me, Robbie Keane, like I said, a very good player, very good player for Tottenham. But manager-wise, right now, no. Let him have his time out in Hungary. I'm sure it's Hungary. He's only just started, so let him build himself up on that one. Who else out there? Like I said, Zerbi done all right from what I remember when he was with Brighton. I didn't really follow much from what he'd done with Marseille. I know he wasn't there very long, probably about the same amount of time as what Thomas Frank was, 7-8 months, if that. And it's funny how he terminated his contract the night before Frank was pushed out the door at Tottenham. So De Zerbi at Spurs, not really. No, I'm not really all for that one. I'm not really all for De Zerbi joining Spurs. I feel he's one for just throwing his toys at the pram, and when he doesn't get what he wants, bit like Conte anyway, throwing his toys at the pram, speaking his mind, which is what I feel De Zerbi does in a way. Speaks his mind, and you know the board ain't gonna like that. I know. We don't want a yes man. We know that one. I don't want a yes man. It's tricky, isn't it? It's very tricky when you got a piss poor board there and a very shit ownership that you know really ain't gonna back you. And I've said before, there's only one man for the job, and that's Pochettino. Mauricio Pochettino. He has unfinished business at the club. He should have never, ever been booted out the door in the first place. You know what I mean? But, you know, there's that famous saying, whoever it's going to be, you know, it's that simple. Good luck. Good luck, because 9 times out of 10, you know what's going to happen. It's going to be a couple of wins, good start, because that's what Frank had. He had a very good start, didn't he? Beat Burnley, even beat Man City at the Etihad. Very good start to this season, and it just went complete and utter shit. Complete and utter shit. And right now, with that 12, 13 Premier League games remaining, we are in a relegation battle. We are down in the mix in a relegation battle. Keep the comments rolling in, guys. I will start reading them out in a minute. Quickly now, there's rumours going around that Tim Sherwood to step in as interim. Look, he's been there before, I know. I'm not too sure on Tim Sherwood. If it's not going to be Pochettino, what about Harry Redknapp? What about Harry Redknapp until the end of the season? Look, he's early 80s now. We all know that one. So I don't know how true it is. Did he actually come out and say? Because obviously I've seen bits of footage, but obviously I don't know if it's new or if it's old or whatever. Because I know he said it many times when we've had so many sackings since Pochettino. But does he really want to come in and just try and pick up the pieces? You know what I mean? He hasn't got much to play with, has he? So many injuries. So many injuries. I know. The majority of Spurs fans, including myself, would back him, because I've got so much respect for Redknapp. I really do. I've got so much respect for that guy. But does he really want that pressure? You know what I mean? I don't know. I really don't know. But like I keep saying, there's only one man, and that's Pochettino for me. Really is, guys. It really is. It really is. But you know, like I've said, the fixtures are they're not good. When I was on my stream yesterday, I'm going through the remaining fixtures, and I'm just saying to my people, you know, where are the points coming from? Where are the points coming from? The North London derby next. I know in some ways, when you get a new manager in, you have that manager effect. It's like you know, the group of boys, you know, they want to play for that new manager, and you know, pull their socks up for a bit. It could have that new manager effect. For all we know, we could go and win that North London derby. You just don't know. We are so Spursy. You know, again, there's that saying, you just never know what Spurs are going to turn up. You really don't. You really don't. So, you know, obviously there's Wolves. I know we got Wolves in there. I'll go through the fixture list in a minute, but Wolves, are we going to get anything from Wolves? We just about got a draw. And Jalpina got that equaliser, celebrating like we won the game. Like, they're down in rock bottom, 20th, with about 8 or 9 points. You know what I mean? It's just outrageous. I really can't see where we're going to pick the points up in this current situation we are in. But yeah, man, time will tell. Time will tell, guys. Time will tell. I'm going to get onto the comments now, guys. Keep the comments rolling in. Who would you love to see join Tottenham until possibly the end of the season, or a Tottenham are the board literally thinking, no, we don't want interim. We just want a manager to come in right now, 2-year, 3-year contract, whatever, and crack on. What do you reckon they'll do, and who do you think will step in? So yeah, man, I'm going to crack on in the comments now. So we got Hotspur TV, big up yourself, big up. I don't trust them to get to the next appointment, right? Yeah, basically, yeah, we're in massive trouble, and yeah, exactly, that's what I said earlier. It's just a very, very vicious circle. Yeah, man, and we are in massive trouble. It's like I said before, and it's true. It's like the board. Yeah, more obviously more the board. It's just like they really don't know what to do, or what are they doing? They don't know what they're doing. Is that saying, isn't there? You'd love to be a fly on the wall to really see what goes on behind those closed doors. What actually goes on? I'd love to know. I really would. You know, it's like who actually see the interview of, was it last week or the week before when Spurs interviewed Johan Lang, and the stuff Lang was coming out with, it was just complete and utter rubbish. You know what I mean? Just complete and utter nonsense. You know, you just think to yourself, well, why are you sitting there saying all this when it's just complete and utter rubbish? Why? Why? It's all fake. It's all fake. It's all put on, sort of brush under the carpet sort of thing. You know? Yeah. just it's just yeah, man. What else we got here, guys? What else? What else? What else? Um, Hotspur TV again. I want Sherwood and Redknapp as an advisor, like a duo. Yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah. Like I said earlier, I wasn't. I'm very half and half with Sherwood. Obviously, he come in once before, quite a few years ago, and done an all right job back in the day when we had like, um, um, oh my god, I've gone blank. Adebayor. You know what I mean? When we had the likes of Adebayor and Aaron Lennon, I think Aaron Lennon was there still. You know what I mean? He done an all right job. So him to work alongside Redknapp, I'm all for that till the end of the season. I'm confident. I'm confident they will keep us up, and then we get Pochettino in the summer. So yeah, I'm all for a duo like that. Sherwood to work alongside Redknapp. But like I said, Redknapp, does he really want that pressure? Early 80s. Yeah, we were seeing it. But if he wants it, I'm all for it, and I'm backing him, man. I'm backing him till the end of the season, definitely, definitely. Hotspur TV again. Back in the day, we used to have David Pleat. Yeah, I remember David Pleat. Yeah, who was stepping in the 90s, yeah, early 2000s, and doing interim. Yeah, and bringing back Mason would be a mistake. Um, Yeah, Ryan Mason. If he was to come back, that would be his third spell as interim. From what I remember, Ryan Mason come in. Was it when Jose Mourinho got the boot? That was the first time Mason come in because if I remember rightly, obviously Jose got the boot a few days before the Carabao Cup final, and then Mason come in for that final. And then was it the second spell Mason come in when? Was it when Antonio Conte got the boot? Obviously, Conte's assistant at the time, Stellini, stepped in, and he was only there all of 5 minutes. What two maybe three games in charge. Tata laters, and I'm sure that's when Mason come back in for his second spell. I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it. If anyone can let me know in the comments if I did get that bang on. But yeah, to see Ryan Mason come in as an interim for the third time. Yeah, I'm definitely not for that. I'm definitely not for that. I'd love to see Mason back, but put him with the kids, put him with the youth coming up because that's what he was good at. That's what he was doing to begin with. You know, when he retired from football. Um, but yeah, to have Mason back as a third time as interim now, I'm not all for that one. I'm not for that one. Um, Hotspur TV again. Spurs went down with Birkinshaw in '77, but was given the power to get rid of Deadwood. Yeah, and we came back up whilst doing the rebuild. Football has changed. Richer clubs and too much politics at Spurs. Yeah, definitely. So much has changed. So much has changed. It's like when I said about the old managerial merry-go-round. Managers don't last nowadays. You know what I mean? It baffles me and it makes me laugh when you see new managers step in and they sign like I said earlier, 2-3 year contract, and you look at that thinking, really, you'd be lucky to last a year. especially if you don't get off to a very good start. You know what I mean? It's just I know Thomas Frank got off to an all right start at the start of the season, because he did beat Burnley, beat Man City, very good start, but it just all went to shit, didn't it? Just all went to shit. And to our home form, away form is just totally unacceptable. It really is totally unacceptable. And with the stadium we've got, you know what I mean? You'd if you didn't actually know what's going on, you'd look at our stadium and go, "Wow, that is a fortress and half, isn't it? That is a fortress and half." And we've not made it that since we started playing there. We've not made it a fortress, have we? It's just teams just like a bit like that saying of Old Trafford nowadays. 9 times out of 10, a team would go there and yeah, easy, we get a point, possibly a win. It's not a fortress anymore, is it? It's not a fortress. So yeah, man, it's like I said, managers don't last nowadays, and it is a shame. It is a shame, but obviously, like I said before, Frank, for me, Thomas Frank should have never ever have got the job in the first place. He should have stayed with Brentford. He was doing an all right job for Brentford. I feel that's his level. That is his level. That's the cut-off point for him. Definitely, 100%. That is his cut-off point for him. And at the same time, from what I could see, he had the backing. He definitely had the backing there from Brentford, and obviously a better board and ownership all round compared to what Spurs have got. So yeah, he should have stayed. Should have stayed. Obviously, money talks, and he see the money and his eyes lit up. Yeah, but yeah, he should have never ever have jumped ship. He should have stayed with Brentford. 100%. Nighttime Kid, big up yourself. Bring in Xavi. Ah, yeah. I don't know so much. When you say bring in Xavi, do you mean as a permanent or interim till the end of the season, and then we see where we are by the end of the season? Is that what you mean? Let me know in the comments. Nighttime Kid as well, also saying bring in an attacking manager. Well, we had that with Postecoglou, didn't we? He was just attack. That was just one system and one system only with him, and I did blame him with the amount of injuries. We had so many freaking injuries, a bit like this season, obviously. And again, you've got to blame, obviously not just the manager, but you've got to blame everyone across the board. The recruitment, the medical definitely in that list, because again, 2 seasons on the trot now, we've had so many freaking injuries. And why is it taking so long for the likes of James Maddison and Dejan Kulusevski to get better? What the fuck is going on? What is going on? And like I said yesterday in my stream, if you've not seen it, check it out. But I've never ever seen a football club have so many injuries than what Tottenham have. So many injuries. It's not right. And it's what is going on? What is going on? Yeah, it just baffles me. It just baffles me. It really does. It really does. So, what else we've got? Another comment here from FCB518. David Moyes. David Moyes. No, he's all right. He's all right. He's doing all right for Everton. He's another one, isn't it? He's another one. I feel he's at that level, mid-table-ish, steady job. Oh, doing all right. Doing all right. Yeah, not for me. Not for me. Not for me. What's that one there? You are awful. Okay. That's fair enough. Yeah, that's fair enough. If they're not watching me, then move on to another channel, and it doesn't bother me. Doesn't bother me. Gary O'Neill, nah. With your stadium, you should be winning Premier League titles, FA Cups, and E Cups. Yeah, that's what I said. That's basically what I said earlier. Like that with the whole saying, with you know, if you didn't actually know what situation Tottenham were in, and you see Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, you go, wow, that's got to be a fortress and half in it. But obviously, it's not. The club have not made it a fortress ever since it's been there. It's not been a fortress, has it? And it's awful. It really is awful. It really is awful. Stoke have 10 players out. Oh, okay, okay, okay. Saying that, where are Stoke? Where are Stoke in the Championship? Now you said that. Now you said that one. I'm going to quickly look that up. Bear with me, guys. Bear with me. Bear with me. Unless any of you can let me know in the comments, I'm going to find that one. Bear with me, guys. Where are they in the Championship? Where are they in? Oh, they're 14th. They're 14th. Okay. 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 But yeah, look, with Tottenham, and you know, even when we have a fully fit squad, you know, not so much plenty enough to choose from bench wise, because it's not been that for quite some time. But you know, our squad depth anyway is just shite, in it. It really is shite. When you think what the likes of even Arsenal have now, Man City, Liverpool, them teams there, they've, you know what I mean. Especially where Arsenal are right now. You know, it took them quite a few seasons to rebuild, but they've done it over time. And obviously, that's how you're supposed to do it over time. You know, it's not going to be a straight thing, but they can literally rest. You know, a very good a large amount of players, and still have players that come off from the bench, and you know, still do a job. Tottenham, with the group of boys we've got, they won't do that. Won't do that. You know, it won't happen. It won't happen. You know, again, it really annoys me seeing that our squad depth is so down to the bare bones. So down to the bare bones. You know, and with Odobert out now, that's another player added to the list. It's really not good. Really not good. Really not good, guys. Really not good. You know, I'm just gonna quickly see if there's any more comments before I do crack on. Another comment here. Yeah, 14th. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I did check that one. Yo, what's up? Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Yourself? If you've just joined, guys, get smashing the likes, get subscribing to the channel if you're new. I'd really appreciate it. Another comment here. I thought Frank should have gone weeks ago. You saying weeks ago? He should have gone a long time ago. Months ago. Months ago. He should have gone. Going back to when we first played Arsenal this season in the Premier League, he should have went after that. You know what I mean? They've left it. They've left it far too long. They've really dragged their heels out, and they really have. They really have dragged their heels out. They really have left it far too long. Far too long. Far too long, guys. You know, going back to the fixtures, remaining fixtures. Arsenal next Sunday at the Lane. Do we really think we are going to get anything there? Let me know in the comments, guys. Let me know in the comments. And then we're going into March. Going into March now. 1st of March, we are away to Fulham at Craven Cottage. Not an easy place to visit, Craven Cottage, is it? Not an easy place. You know what I mean? Back at the Lane against Palace. Palace are down there fighting a relegation. Saying that they actually lost 3-2 last night to Burnley. Didn't really see that one coming, and they was winning, what, 2-0 to begin with? So Palace can be a bit of a hit and miss. And then, you know, we're away to Liverpool at Anfield. Again, we don't really have a good record against Liverpool, do we? Home or away. And then another relegation scrap against Nottingham Forest. So where are we getting the points? Let me know in the comments, guys. Where do you think Spurs will get the points from the remaining fixtures we got left? And then we got Sunderland. We have Sunderland going into April now at the Stadium of Light, having a very good season back in the Premier League, aren't they? And then we are back at the Lane against Brighton. Again, Brighton could be dodge. We know that one. And then we're at the Molineux against Wolves towards the end of April. You know what I mean? It's not easy, is it? It's really not easy. Obviously, the last time we played Wolves, we just about got a point, didn't we? Shelplina equaliser in the dying moments, dying seconds, and they're all celebrating like we got a winner. You know what I mean? It's really not good. And then we're going into the last 4 games away to Aston Villa, who are currently in the top 4 right now. Leeds, again, another relegation scrap there. Away to Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. You know, our record against Chelsea, a bit like Liverpool, is not really good, is it? Really not good. And then the last game of the season, at home to Everton. You know what I mean? Not easy. Not easy at all, are they? It's really not easy. So, where are we going to get the points from? Where are we going to get the points from? Where are we going to get the points from? Another comment here. We'll beat Fulham. Okay. I like to think we'll get something from the North London derby. Look, it's a freaking big ask. We all know, but I'd like to think we'll have that manager effect, that new manager effect. You know, with the group of boys that we got left, they're going to step in and really pull their socks up. Again, it's that saying, did any of them boys actually play for Frank? You know, what was it? What was it? You know, it's obviously, like I said, Frank was out of his depth. 100% was out of his depth. But then obviously the injuries didn't help. Wasn't backed in January. You know, when you think back to what we got in January, another left back. Why? Why another defender? Why? When we're crying out for a pacey winger, a creative midfielder, a striker to back up Solanke. Didn't get any of that. You know, we like I said, we got another left back instead. Looks promising from what I see. We see glimpses of him, didn't we? And then we got Conor Gallagher. That's it. That is it. Not obviously the young kid from Hearts, but you know that's possibly one for the future. But we need players to come in right now, not players for the future, and just one player in Conor Gallagher who can come in and help out. It's not good enough. It is really, really not good enough. So you can blame it for that as well. It's a mixture of everything. We all know. It's a mixture of everything. So yeah, it's just one of them ones, isn't it? It's just one of them ones. Another comment here. Fabian Hertzler. No, from Brighton. I'm not really all for that one. I'm not all for that one. No, not for me. Not for me. Ruben Sellers. He's the guy that's managed a couple of teams in the Championship. In it, that name rings a bell. What about Harry Redknapp till the end of the season? Yeah, definitely. Like what Hotspur TV said. Sherwood and Harry Redknapp to work as a partnership. I'm all for that one. Definitely, I'm all for that one. Definitely, 100% all for that one. But look, before I do go, at the end of the day, there's only one man for the job, and that is Mauricio Pochettino. But again, there's that famous saying: whoever comes in, you know, are they going to get that full backing? Because we've had so many managers since the good old days of Pochettino, and they've never been backed, have they? It's just been false words. You know, that they wheel them in, if you like, wheel them in, feed them a lot of bullshit, wheel them in, and then it's just all false hopes, isn't it? Nothing really comes out. Farke. No, you're on about the Leeds boss. No, he's no. We're being silly now, aren't we? We're being silly now. We're being silly. But you know, it's like I said. Whoever comes in to try and do a job, it's 9 times out of 10, it's just going to be full of false hopes and a vicious circle at the end of the day. And obviously, there's that famous saying again: whoever comes in, it's good luck in it. Good luck. Wish you all the best. You know, it's going to be a bumpy ride. It's always a bumpy ride at Tottenham. There's just no consistency there whatsoever, is there? No consistency. It's just gone. We've gone so far back now, so far back. But yeah, man. Of course, I'd love to see Poch back. But you know, like I keep saying, he needs the backing. He needs the full support from the ownership. If it's going to be Enoch going forward, and you know the board, etc. That's what it boils down to. That's what it boils down to. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, it's going to be an interesting one, man. It's going to be an interesting one. Stevie G. No, we're being silly now, aren't we? We're being silly. We're being silly, guys. But yeah, man, if whoever comes in, yeah, it's that famous saying, "Good luck in it." Good luck. Yeah, it's with what 12, 13 games to go. We're only 5 points ahead of West Ham, and West Ham are fighting, aren't they? And going back to January, they signed some all right players, didn't they? For them, you know, they're performing, they're scoring goals. You know what I mean? They got a lucky point against Man United. You know what I mean? They beat Spurs about a month ago now. You know, they nearly beat Chelsea. You know, they're fighting. They are fighting. You can see West Ham are fighting. And then you look at the likes of Spurs, and I know Forest are in the mix. They're dropping points. They are dropping. You know, they're losing week after week all of a sudden, aren't they? But then you look at Palace. I know they lost last night, but they won the game before that, so they're fighting. Burnley are up for the fight now. You know what I mean? 2 goals down against Palace last night, and win that game 3-2. They're fighting. They are fighting. And what Spurs doing? We're just losing week in, week out. And I really, in this current time, I really don't see where Spurs are going to get the points from. I really don't. I really don't. But you never know. At the end of the day, again, like I said earlier, there's that famous saying, isn't there? We are Spursy. And you just never know what Spurs are going to turn up. Like I said earlier, leading up to the North London derby, you know, it's going to be all doom and gloom going into that game. We all know that one. But for all we know, we could go there, we could be going to the lane and pick up all 3 points and really help out Man City for the title. You just never know. Football's a funny game, isn't it, half the time? It really is. You just never know. Another comment here, Almarin. Nah. Nah. But yeah, you know, we'll see. We will see, guys. We will see. But yeah, like I said, I definitely want Mauricio Pochettino. That is the one I want. That is the man I want. He has unfinished business. Definitely has unfinished business at the club. He was building something very, very special before he got the boot. Definitely. But right now, it's definitely got to be an interim, because obviously, if it is to be Pochettino going forward, you know, if we do get the nod that he is coming in, then is he gonna literally say, you know, I don't want to, I'm gonna jump ship now before the World Cup starts, or is he gonna stick to his guns and say, you know, I've got a job to do right now, they're gonna take USA through the World Cup, and then I'm all for going back to Spurs after the World Cup, or we're gonna go interim. Redknapp, maybe, you know, sure, to step in with him. I'm all for that one. I'm all for that, for them to work as that'd be a good partnership, I feel, until the end of the season. I feel they'll keep us up. They would keep us up. They would keep us up, definitely. The Bournemouth manager, yeah, that's another one. Yeah, the Bournemouth manager. Yeah, Areola. Obviously, the other one that seems to do the rounds every time a Spurs manager leaves, and that's Fulham's Silva. I'm not all for these guys. They're not for our level where I feel as a club Tottenham should be. That's as simple as we need. I know we've been there before. We need serial winners. You know, I know we've been there before with Jose and Conte. You know, and it didn't work out. But that's the board and the ownership for you. You've only got to look back to what Conte said. He spoke his mind, and only a few days after that, he got the boot from Spurs. You know, because he spoke his mind. He spoke his mind, and it was the truth. And I don't know if any of you have seen Gary Neville's is it over the lap, where he was interviewing Postecoglou, and again he spoke his mind. Big Ange spoke his mind. You know, when he come in, he was, you know, told, you know, going to get certain players in, blah 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 blah. You know, and obviously that famous saying, "To dare is to do." You know what I mean? To dare is to do. You know, when you see that famous saying, "To dare is to do," it's like, yeah, this team mean business, isn't it? This team mean business. But it's just nothing like that, is it, whatsoever? It really isn't. It really isn't. It's just the total opposite. But yeah, man, like I keep saying, whoever comes in, it's going to need a massive, massive rebuild. A massive rebuild. And again, like I keep saying, it needs that fall back in from the board and the ownership. But, you know, in an ideal world, in a very ideal world, the only way we are going to seriously push on is if the boardwalk and the Lewis family sell up, and we get some serious buyers that want to seriously back us fans. You know what I mean? Give us hope. You know, and I've obviously got a love for the game and huge amount of love for the club, and want to see Tottenham Hotspur Football Club succeed. You know what I mean? Because I'm so sick to death of seeing the board come out of all this bollocks, saying, yeah, we want Champions League, we're going to push, we want to help push the club as far as we can get, you know, we're hungry, blah 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 blah. But it's all bollocks, isn't it? They're just feeding us so much rubbish, and it's just like I said, it's just all just rubbish, isn't it? It's just all just rubbish, and just filling us with false hopes. But yeah, man, you know, we're seeing it. We will see. We will see. It's because it's obviously it's only a matter of time before Tottenham announce the interim, or possibly the full shebang. They you know they're going to go full time. Today, and they not you know, who knows, let's just watch this space. Let's just watch this space and see what happens. But I'd like to think Spurs get something done, obviously before the North London derby, which is only next Sunday. But here we are, guys. Here we are. That is enough from me, guys. Big up you guys in the comments. Big up you guys in the comments. Big up you guys just watching along. Please smash the likes. Get subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. It really means a lot to me. Get subscribing. Yeah, man, and check the other videos out. But yeah, that's enough from me. I'm going to shoot. I will see you lot in the next video. As always, up the Spurs. And yeah, man, it's going to be a bumpy ride to see who's going to step in next. But yeah, man, up the Spurs, guys. Take it easy. Take it easy, guys.